So it's been like 6 months since I last posted on my YouTube channel, and I think I missed doing this because it brings some life into me, something that I really got addicted to, but I had to stop. And the reason why I stopped it because the Kenyan politics is very sad, and I think kitu ilifanya ama kitu nia to break sana ni hiyo Gen Z movement. I had high hopes that it will transform into something, but sadly it was short-lived, and it was hijacked, and people turned on each other, and people betrayed us. We also betrayed some people, so it was just something very, very chaotic. So who is coming to save our country? That's the question we have to ask. And what's next for our country? Because now we have Matiangi in the mix. Now people apparently love Gachagua. People have forgotten all the bad things we did. Now we have a fan favorite. Munyoro is really. But now for Munyoro, I understand. Like Munyoro is more powerful now than he was powerful back then because he has the backing of the people. Back then, for Munyoro to hold a rally, he had to mobilize people and actually pay them for them to come and attend. But Sai Gachagua came in any place central, I mean, some parts of the central. He has organic crowds, so it's a plus for him. But he's still a very, very risky guy because people think that he's saying those things that he cares about the country. But I really, really doubt Gachagua from the Gachagua I knew from the past. I think he only cares about one guy, and I think we'll get to know the real him when it comes to time for him to support someone, whether he supports someone or whether he'll want to be on the ballot himself. That's when we'll realize is Gachagua for the people or is Gachagua only for himself. But so far he's trying, he's the only liable opposition we have. So as much as I can say negative things about him, there are very many positive things about him. Since Raila ran away from the opposition seat, Gachagua is our current opposition leader. Like we didn't place him there, but he's the biggest voice now in the opposition side since Raila vacated that seat. Because we can't have a country running without opposition. So whether you like the opposition or not, like it's there. Because Kalonzo wasn't doing much. Kalonzo doesn't have that entertaining aspect that Ruto has, that Raila has. He is a good leader, but not a good politician. Gachagua is a good politician, but maybe a bad leader. Ruto is a good politician, bad governor, bad leader. Raila, I think Raila has a little bit of balance of both. So Gachagua thing happened, then Kindiki replaced him. Kindiki, the issue I have with Kindiki is that they're trying to transform and make him into something that he is not. Because I don't think Kindiki is the kind of guy for this back and forth. You're at your now, you're soprano. I don't think it's that guy. I don't think Kindiki is the guy that should be donating money. Everyone knew Kindiki as a very broke dude. And the reason Gachagua was picked is because Kindiki was broke compared to Gachagua. And the reason Kindiki was broke is because he was ethical. And this deputy seat is making him lose the little ethics he had. Because for crying out loud, where is Kindiki getting more than 100 million to give us offering to church? Why is he getting all that money if it's not like directly or indirectly linked to corruption? Where is Kindiki getting all that money? All of a sudden, he's now a billionaire. Yes, he is a billionaire, but the billionaire was donating 10 million every church service. So I think they're trying to groom him the Ruto way, where you just People know you for having money. So people always wish to get to where you are because they know there'll be financial benefits to them being in those events or to them attending those events. So it's something maybe it will work. It worked for Ruto, but I highly doubt if it will work for Kindiki because people love him for a different thing, for his humility, for his soft-spokenness. But now they're turning him into something that he's not. Now he has to fight Gachagua for that supremacy, and Gashagua's already won in that sector. The money part, people really doubt him because how come you are all of a sudden you are this rich? So that's it for Kendiki. I think the next guy is Matiangi. I personally believe that our country, Matiangi will be a good president for our country because he's a good, not a good politician, but a good leader. Yes, he has his flaws, especially whatever he did with the Raila thing. Like, I don't think anyone can be a CS for internal security and the people of the country love you. Because police can go wrong and all that will be on you. Currently, everything that's happening now with the Juang thing or the Juang story, everything is blaming, people are blaming that on Murkomen. So I think the worst thing you can be, the worst ministry you can ever get is the internal security ministry. Because whenever there are mandamanos, whenever there are strikes, Kunatu lose their lives and who will be blamed? And you also have to almost like you tell the police to be harsh so that the president doesn't look weak. So now everyone hates Murkomen. Everyone hates Murkomen because they're blaming him for very many things. Kindiki was really hated because people still blame him for the Gen Z death that happened last year. So even for Matiangi, he'll forever suffer the same fate. I think the worst thing that happened to him was him accepting that internal security docket. Angebaki to education amangeenda somewhere else. Uhuru really messed that dude up. Because without that internal security docket, he would have had a clean slate. Na alikuwa na track record in education. Like he changed an entire ministry in less than 2 months. Meaning he proved that in our country many things can change. The security part, especially if your hands are tied, is not that good. And he could have done more, but now we had a very semi-weak president who didn't put his foot down. Because if Uhuru put his foot down, Matiang'i could have changed the internal security sector. Because I believe he he has a he is a dictator. He is strict, but he can make changes. So I think I focus on this part where Matiang'i can make changes. And if I had two options between Ruto and Matiang'i, based on ethics, I'll vote for Matiang'i. I wonder who you'll vote for. Because if they both have flaws, they, all of them have bodies. All of them have their own mistakes. All of them have corruption cases. Like all of them are dirty. So you pick your lesser evil between Matiang'i and Ruto. Who would it be? That's the question you have to ask yourself. So that's it for Matiang'i. Because I think he is the change we need. He and people fear him. Like literally, if you give that guy power, like the presidential power, he can change this country in less than 2 months. But now shida ni anakuja na some of these old politicians, which makes you doubt the kind of work he'll be able to do. Because if if you're going with the current trend and Matiang'i ako na kina Wamunyoro, ako na Kalonzo, meaning if they get into deals and they get into treaties, meaning our cabinet, the next cabinet, even Matiang'i's government, itakuwa na politician, people like Murkomen, the likes of Joho, will be in those places because yes, the politics in kitu Ruto amecreate saini is almost like something like you must be rewarded for something. And you're only useful if you're a politician and if you bring votes. That's why Murkomen hata saa akitolewa kwa hiyo seat, he'll just be taken to another seat. You can't fire him because he knows your secrets. And even in Matiangi, especially sasa hivi when you're na Munyoro, he'll have to continue playing that game. So I wonder, I think it would be better for him just to create his own path and create his own audience. Not fight this other side, not fight this other side. Just create your own audience and go with it. The way Maraga is doing. And I think the Maraga is the next person. Because he's the most logical person we can have. But now he'll be a good leader, he'll be a good president. But now he's a bad politician, like ajui kucheza your politics. Ajui kuentertain. And that's what Kenyans love. Sadly. Because people always love the victim. And when Ruto played the victim part, people really loved him. Now that Wamunyoro is playing that victim card, people really love him. Because that's what we do as a country. When Raila was playing that victim card, like we do election, now every time, people really love him. So Maraga is the best fit and the cleanest guy, but would you vote for him? Would you vote for him? Can he win against Ruto? Who will vote for him? He's the best guy. He has the cleanest record. He has a clean slate. But will you vote for him? Hiyo siku ikifika, kuna mtu ataacha Maraga a vote. Yeah, at times we have options. We have good options. But we stick to. Because even in the last election, people, by the time we were going into election, Ruto had been voted the most corrupt man. He had all the corruption cases. Gachagua had the most corruption cases. Say mtasema ati alikuwa anaonewa, but alikuwa nazo. And the government really lies, especially into the corruption. Hata ukiona kina Natembea wameshikwa corruption, there's something there, there's something. Maybe the amount they're saying is not right, but there's something there. The government knows you, especially in our country. So we voted for the most corrupt man to go to office because he played the victim card and people believed him. And that's the same mistake people might do with Gachagua because they'll vote for the victim, then that victim becomes the villain once he's there because he's got the power now. What can we do? Say penye Ruto yuko, what can we do? We're helpless. He has all the cards. So Maraga is the best option we have, but people will not vote for him, sadly. Hiyo ndo issue. So at times we have good options, but we just can't. Then I think the next guy, we just have to talk about the big guy, Raila. So kuna watu watasema ni traitor, kuna watu watasema ni nini. But if you look at the guy's career, the guy has had like there is the good side of Raila and the bad side. And I think I'll start with the bad side. I think at times I view him as the biggest hypocrite in our country. Because at times he tends to address corruption, yet at his doorstep addresses Orengo is a corrupt guy, he never talks about it. We've had previous governors. Rango was a very corrupt guy, never said anything about it. Now I want to home ground yake. Governor wake Orengo. A very corrupt guy, like doing nothing meaningful. Why can't he corrupt like I think at times charity begins at home. So if you want to correct Ruto's corruption, if you want to correct corruption happening at the national level, and you're assuming hii inafanyika kwa doorstep ya kule gavana mwenye kwako ushagoni, doing nothing, looting the county dry, him and the previous guy, and the always elected best from your party. So you only see evil when it's happening on that other side, but when it's happening at home, how you on. So I think that's my biggest disappointment with him. Even with his MPs, Some of the most corrupt MPs are ODM MPs, the most corrupt, like when hafanyi kazi yoyote. But since in Nyanza, once uko na ODM ticket, you've won. He lets it slide. So sijui cause they pay something to the party, they buy hizo nomination tickets. But if you want people to take you seriously, that you believe in fairness, that you be, like hata tu kwa hizo za democracy, inaitwa Orange Democratic Party. The way people get those nominations is not democratic, it's violence. So it's almost like it should be OGM, Orange Goon. Because the bigger the goon you are, the better for you. That's why even we were MP aliuliwa. He was a bad guy, but they cherished him. He was a, like na kuna very many ODM MPs when some of them might be evil that guy that was assassinated. There are people who are worse than him. They're in parliament. Raila will never talk about it. And he knows. Because at times your violence that those people have benefits him to some degree maybe. But now that's the dark side of him. Like every human has a dark side and a good side. On the positive side is that he tries, he's tried. The reason we can do this is because of that guy. The reason I can do this is because of that guy. So in my books, he's still a legend. The reason we can go to the street and see what it we live in because of him. He's been on the street for the longest time. He's risked it all. Amepinga hadi Moi, mtu hakuna mtu angepinga. It's easier kupinga Ruto now that Raila has made that thing possible. But imagine the guys that had the guts, the people that had the audacity kupinga Moi and survived through it actually. So he's a legend in my book, he's a legend. Maybe what on them dispute the Gen Z stuff, but he's made even for that Gen Z thing to happen. It was because that guy was in the street before the Gen Z. That guy was in the street before the boom one. He's always been on the street. So you could your maandamano. Things almost like a trademark. Ukisema maandamano, what the first thing that comes to mind is right. And for this broad-based thing, I think to some degree he's made Ruto a little bit better. A little bit better. Like Ruto was bad. I mean, improved Ruto by 7%. Because he has something to protect, like he has a legacy to protect. Yenye haiwezi kuwa tu unaiba pekee. Like at least jenga one two at least nikuwe naweza tembea na wewe. Change this and this and this and this and this. At least, like I can say it like at least. Then the other thing is that he's brought peace to the country. Like country imetulia. Na country ikitulia at least kuna do tourists wanakuja. Hizo maandamano they were chasing tourists. Na kuna businesses that depend purely on hizo. So him also choosing peace is a good thing. Watu wetu country tunaandamana kila siku 24/7. We need just time for peace, just things to try and work. Because people have businesses, people have families to feed, people have dependents. He brought peace. Even with this business, like you can hate him for that, but at least he brought peace. So in the books, he's still a legend. He brought us this new constitution. Like there's a lot that guy brought. Like if in terms of political change, he's the greatest politician. Like ukiangalia na impact, he's the greatest politician to ever grace our country. I don't think is there anyone better than him. Like in politics, he's been the most popular. is the most impactful. No. Plus, at least for some of these very neglected areas, with this broad-based thing, at least I feel like there's some money flow to some of this. I think like like Luo Nyanza kuna venye most times why iko neglected, but you can feel this guy's involvement with Ruto. At least there's some little money flowing in. You can feel it. Could at least a project with Namka Amka. And I think if you give it time, people actually might vote in Ruto because of Raila in case he backs him. Because people believe that this guy will keep him straight. But now shida hiyo nini? How loyal is Ruto? Because ukishamrudisha huko na kuhitaji anymore. Zile deals mlimake ata implement. Because just look at what's happening between Trump and Elon. Elon did everything possible to help Trump win. But once Trump won, I realized I don't need Elon anymore because I survived for a third term. He fucked Elon over. So, hiyo ndio kitu Raila should go with in mind, like in case he helps Ruto for 2027, what's the guarantee that this guy will stick to him? What's the guarantee? Because at times just look at what people do to people around them. Ruto ameruka kila mtu. Ameruka Gachagua, someone who destroyed and burned bridges for everyone just to protect him. So he is being called a tribal man. Malala abused everyone to protect Ruto. Kicked out. And the list is long. So, can Raila really trust Ruto in 2027? For now, yes, you can trust him. But later on, when Ruto doesn't need him anymore, can he trust him? That's the question we should ask. So, that's it for Raila. And I think now we got to number one, which is Ruto. Apparently, I'll start with the positive side of Ruto. I think number one is he's the most hardworking guy. He's the most hardworking president we've ever had. And now the saddest thing about hard work at times, like hard work is being hardworking is a positive thing, which is a trait he has. But now hard work should be geared into something like you're working hard towards what? Because Ruto, in terms of hard work for his personal goals, but in terms of working hard for country goals, because he's made himself some billions and billions and billions, and it'll never stop. He'll continue taking and taking and taking until there's nothing more to take. To me, it's a personality. Yes, he's a hard worker. Compared to Uhuru, compared to Kibaki, compared to Moi, he's the hardest working. But I'd prefer a smartest working president than the hardest working. Because some of these things anafanya pia ni unnecessary. Hizi ma rallies zote, yes, it's hard work, it's tiresome, it's brutal. But for what? You're a president, uko hapo like una campaign maybe in the second year, una campaign in the first year. What do you really want to prove with your hard work? Yes, like the hard work thing is almost like a plus and a negative. It's a plus and a negative. Because what do you want to prove? Why are you always on top of cars? You're the president, but you're acting like a primitive first year MP. Uko gari saa zote. Sipetu suit uite watu kwa town hall. people to exchange ideas, go to meetings, constructive meetings. So it's the most hardworking because doing those rallies is crazy. Cramming all those speeches is crazy. Lying continuously is also very, very hard. That's what I'm telling you, he's a hardworking man. That's a trait I admire from him. Thing number two is he's consistent, whether with the bad things or the good things. He is consistent with his lives, he is consistent with this rallies, he is consistent with corruption. I think he's just consistent with anything and everything. I think the third one is that he is a family man. It's also a good thing and a bad thing. Because since he has a bigger family, don't know whether I have to say this without sounding rude or it being said like it's being miscategorized or as misinformation. I think the bigger family you have, the more you have to steal. Because imagine if you want to leave every kid 100 billion and you have like 30 kids, how much should you steal? Yeah. So at times being a family man for politicians, not as lucrative as you think. It's not a good thing because you just place someone who will want to make all his children mega or multi-billionaires using a taxpayers' money. It's better just to have a president with two kids or one kid. You know how the system goes. So he's a good family man. He's always there with the wife, always there with the children. The children have turned out okay. Because it's rare for politicians for these kids to turn up okay. Like based on the few things we know, his kids are okay. So he is hardworking, he is consistent, and he's a family man. Those are positive traits that people really, really lack. Things you can admire.